Hi guys, welcome to One Car Wood Shop. My name's David. If you've never been here before, thanks for dropping in, and I hope you enjoy the video. Today we're going to be working on a wooden bicycle crate for carrying items. For a while now, my wife's wanted a way to go to farmers markets and things around our house and bring produce back. A lot of times for this kind of thing, people will grab one of those plastic milk crates and attach it to a rack. And while I still will be using a metal rack for the bike, this being a woodworking channel, I of course wanted to make the crate out of wood. I'm going to be building a quick release mechanism out of wood as well. I wanted this design to incorporate a quick release mechanism so that if my wife doesn't want to use the crate, she can remove all that weight really easily and slim the bike down. We're going to be building this crate and the mechanism out of 1/2-inch Baltic birch. I'm a really big fan of Baltic birch. I think it looks great as a finished product without any edge banding or anything. Cleans up really nicely, sands beautifully, and obviously working with sheet goods is really nice in terms of milling and creating the pieces that you need, since we're not going to be dealing with planing or any of those steps. It should be a pretty quick process. We're going to knock this out in one video, and I'm happy to have you guys along for the ride. Everything in this project is going to be made from 12mm Baltic birch plywood, which comes in at around 1/2 inch. I actually really like this sheet that I got because of the brown heartwood streaks that run through it. The guy at the supplier asked me if I wanted the sheet because of them, but I actually think it's going to give the box some extra character in the end. Here I'm just cutting out all the components, the sides, and the two bottom pieces that will make the double thick bottom. And now I'm beginning to cut the side slats as well. Here you can see I'm cutting those slats to length using a stop block. This is really important because you don't want to use the miter gauge against the fence. Finally, I'm also cutting the components that will make up the mounting bracket on the bottom. I've gone ahead and glued up the crate itself, as well as the bracket here that's going to attach to the pannier rack on the bike. So basically you can see that we've got this slot here that's going to fit through a hole in the bottom of the crate and secure one end of the crate. On the other, we're just going to have some twist locking, I don't know what the term for them is exactly, but just some catches basically that will clamp down, and that will hold both ends of the crate securely, and we should be off and running. As I begin to drill out the holes for the handles here, you're going to notice that I'm clamping an extra block of wood under where the handle will go. This is so that I don't get tear out on the backside of the plywood. I did want to round over all the edges on this box and mounting plate, but I ended up deciding not to use the router because I typically like very small roundovers. This Baltic birch isn't really a whole lot harder than softwood, so it works fine to just sand with the orbital to round over the edges. You have to be a little careful not to go harder or lighter in certain areas, but as long as you're careful, it goes pretty quick and allows you to fine tune a little more than you'd be able to with the router. even on the handle holes where I wanted to make sure I got even a bit more of a round over, the sandpaper was more than enough to do the job. I only ended up sanding with 150 on the whole box because I was going to use a very thick layer of polyurethane for weatherproofing. Because of this, sanding it to a really smooth finish wasn't really all that important.
You hold on so tight, open up your eyes. This is our time, can't let it pass us by. Gotta let go, you gotta let go.
You can see me laying on the polyurethane here. This is this triple thick polyurethane. Honestly, I don't think I'd ever use it on a furniture project. It's just too goofy. But in this case, where I'm really trying to make this a very durable product that could even get rained on a little bit, I think it's going to work great. I had to be very careful of drips though. Here I'm attaching the clasp. It's actually made for windows, but it has this nice thumb lever that latches very securely.
We need eyes closed, fall into me. Gotta let go, you gotta let go, you gotta let go.
To attach the mounting plate to the bike rack, I just drilled 2 holes for zip ties. It's really a very simple concept. The only thing I had to do was use a knife to cut out a very shallow groove between the holes so that the zip ties would sit flush with the wood itself. Thank you guys for tuning in on this project. I had a lot of fun and it was nice to knock out a project that went pretty smoothly and pretty quickly. That quick release mechanism is really handy, it works great, and I think the Baltic birch looks awesome. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have any ideas on how a design like this could be improved in the future, I'd love to hear about them. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel so you can keep up on future projects, and I will see you later.